Those with a unique calling always walk in a different way. Even while the world sees them, it doesn't always comprehend them. It's not a coincidence if you sense that some people view you differently or that there is a mixture of interest and unease surrounding you. They are aware of it. Being selected does not imply superiority. Rather, it indicates that you have been unique, distinguished by a purpose that few understand, and this distinction is not overlooked. Your presence has an effect. Some respond with resistance, rejection, or jealousy, while others experience respect and appreciation. Have you observed that certain individuals come to you and ask for help, or that they feel safe around you, but they can't even articulate why? However, have you observed that certain people shun you, exhibit unexplained uneasiness, and appear to wish to disparage you without cause? This occurs because what many attempt to conceal is exposed by your light. The energy that the chosen carry speaks for itself. They don't have to say much to be recognized. Others may feel intimidated because your presence reveals their own vulnerabilities, while others will want to be close to you in order to experience a small portion of that energy. I'll show you 7 indications that people are aware that you are the chosen one in this video. You may have experienced these circumstances without fully understanding their significance, but after today, you will comprehend the true nature of the problem and know how to handle it. The lessons you will learn here have the power to fundamentally alter your perspective on your journey, so stick with me through to the conclusion. Before we get started, let me say that this channel is not for everyone. We address the chosen ones here, those who believe that their path is unique. Please subscribe to the channel if you could relate to this message. You will find solutions here that no one else has provided, so you are not alone. Let's begin now. They experience inexplicable hostility. Throughout life, the chosen person comes to understand that some people dislike them for no apparent reason. Even when there was no disagreement or miscommunication, there are nonetheless aloof looks, chilly responses, and even covert animosity. This rejection may occur from friends, co-workers, or even family members. This frequently leads to questions. The selected person attempts to figure out whether they did something wrong, whether their behavior annoys others, or whether they should alter their behavior to gain more acceptance. In actuality, however, this hostility is more about who they are than what they do. People around them react to their vitality, presence, and essence. Being around someone who exudes brightness and sincerity makes others who don't know themselves, who live in deception or fear, uncomfortable. The chosen one does not have to speak for this to occur. Their very presence reveals what others attempt to conceal. And for some who still refuse to face their own reality, this can be intolerable. To avoid feeling inferior, some people will wish to avoid interactions, separate themselves without cause, or even try to minimize you. Insecurity is the root cause of this conduct. They have no idea how to handle someone who doesn't want approval from others in order to exist. Others will fabricate tales to explain their uneasiness, labeling you conceited, challenging, or too different. They find it easier to criticize than to acknowledge that you have a quality that makes them uncomfortable. This rejection is a necessary part of the trip. Therefore, the selected one shouldn't worry about it. People are just not ready for you if they can't be close to you without feeling uneasy. Recognize that not everyone will embrace your light and stop attempting to change to fit in. People who need to be with you will stay. People who can't take your energy will pull away on their own. And that's okay too. Don't just watch, be part of the movement. Hit subscribe and step into your purpose. Your journey starts now. Long-term, fixed stares. The selected one is not overlooked. Whether they are on the street, at business, or even in informal interactions, they can walk into a room without a word and still draw attention. Something seems strange to people. Even before they realize it, they sense your presence. Some people try to hide it, while others just stare. It can be awkward to stare at someone for a long time, especially if they are a stranger. Being constantly watched can make you wonder, why are they staring at me like that? However, it's your energy, the unseen force you convey, that attracts attention, not how you look or what you wear. Even though they are unable to articulate it, some people look at you with respect and adoration because they sense your strength and genuineness. Some people look at you curiously, attempting to figure out what makes you unique, while others stare uncomfortably because your light reveals vulnerabilities and realities they would rather not see. It is impossible to turn off this magnetism. The chosen one carries a high vibration. Thus, your presence has an effect. They move with purpose, carrying truth in their gaze and firmness in their posture, whereas many people live by appearances and superficiality. Even when they are unsure of the precise reason, this causes individuals to pay attention. This phenomena can occur anywhere. A co-worker who constantly observes your motions, a stranger on the metro who can't keep their eyes off you, or even family members who seem interested in your personality. They believe that you don't conform to accepted norms. The stare is a normal response to the unusual. Being real draws attention, whether in a positive or challenging way. The chosen one does not shape themselves to be accepted. They just are. Do not worry if you feel like you are being watched all the time. Consider it a sign of the influence you have. To avoid looks, don't strive to hide or minimize who you are. The world recognizes the uniqueness of what you bring. People attempt to mimic you. The chosen person only needs to be present to attract attention. They don't have to make an effort to serve as an example. Many people, even without realizing it, start to adopt their manner of speaking, acting, and thinking because they have a distinct essence and a perspective on life that deviates from norms. This may appear subtle at first. You realize that someone begins to use your words, take up your routines, or even show interest in the same things that you do. However, this mimicry becomes apparent with time. What initially appeared to be a coincidence turns out to be an effort to replicate what makes you so unique. Because the chosen one is rarely authentic, this copying occurs. They stroll without fear of being who they really are, while many others spent their lives trying to fit in and worrying about what other people think. This independence both fascinates and annoys. The chosen one's energy serves as a model for those who haven't yet discovered who they are. Imitation is not always conscious. Some people believe that your perspective inspires them and that being around you changes them. Unaware of it, they start to alter little habits as a result of your courage and fortitude. Some people, nevertheless, attempt to steal your essence without fully comprehending what it means. Imitation can take many forms, such as someone trying to wear your clothes, adopting your fashion sense, using your facial expressions, or going to the same locations. Others attempt to mold their personalities to seem more self-assured, balanced, and powerful, without realizing that inner strength comes from your inner truth rather than your outside appearance. This kind of conduct may cause pain. The chosen one can wonder if they are being exploited, if others are supporting them because of who they really are. or if they are only doing it to get energy. However, it's crucial to keep in mind that truth cannot be stolen. Since your essence is a reflection of your path, rather than a collection of behaviors, it cannot be replicated. Someone who has not traveled the same journey as you cannot replicate your perspective on life, your insight, or your clarity. Someone will never be able to carry the truth that is inside of you, no matter how hard they try to mimic every aspect of your personality. Authenticity is not a facade. Rather, it is a result of experience, a connection to your own self, and the bravery to be who you are. Don't worry if you see that a lot of others are attempting to copy you. This is simply a reflection of your influence. Your inner strength is so powerful that even unconsciously, it motivates transformation. However, don't let this copying confine you or cause you to doubt your uniqueness. Since the truly chosen one already has everything they need within themselves, they don't need to imitate anyone. Because they don't strive to fit in, conform to social norms, or seek praise. They are a source of inspiration for those who are still figuring out their own paths. Therefore, stay true to who you are. Let them attempt to figure you out. Be inspired by your path and mimic you, but never lose who you are in the process. The real chosen one inspires rather than copies. Uncertainty and inquiries concerning you. Something different is carried by the chosen one. It is sensed rather than seen. Curiosity is piqued by your presence as well as your thoughts and behaviors. People around you strive to figure out what makes you so remarkable. Sometimes they can't even articulate why they are so drawn to you, but they know that there is something special about you. They silently watch you, study your posture, and attempt to gauge how you will respond. While some merely follow your instructions in the hopes of learning your secret, others pose direct queries. However, they fail to recognize that there is no secret. Rather, there is a truth, and that fact is that you just don't suit their expectations. Patterns are common in the world. Everyone is taught from an early age what they should do, how to think, and which way to go. But the selected one does not adhere to the restrictions that are enforced. People who live on autopilot are confused by the fact that they ask questions, are dissatisfied with prefabricated solutions, and want to understand and go beyond. Frequently, the inquiry begins innocently. What makes you think that way? How do you manage to be so confident? Why are you so sure about your course? They find it incomprehensible that someone can be so steadfast in their beliefs without requiring the consent of others. They're trying to figure out why you're independent. There are some that respect you and want to learn from you. They respect your perspective on the world, your sincerity, and your bravery in being yourself without worrying about criticism. Others, however, are uneasy because they are not prepared to deal with someone who does not hold on to other people's opinions. Those who continue to live with uncertainty are challenged by your clarity. Some people try to test you when they don't comprehend you. They start arguments, spark conversations, and challenge your decisions, not because they sincerely wish to comprehend, but rather because your lifestyle highlights their flaws. It is simpler to attempt to discredit you than to examine and doubt oneself if you are safe and they are not. This restlessness and interest are not limited to spoken exchanges. Small nuances like fixated gazes, repeated queries, and attempts to test you are signs of it. Although they are unable to articulate their feelings, they are aware of them, and this feeling motivates them to find out what makes you unique. This does not shake the chosen one. They realize that other people's doubts are a reflection of the path that each individual must walk, not their issue. They merely proceed, unwavering in their core beliefs, without having to defend themselves or provide evidence. Those who are prepared to comprehend will come forward. Those who are not may wonder and feel uneasy. But this does not alter your identity. The chosen one is one of the souls created with the ability to see beyond. Don't just watch, be part of the movement. Hit subscribe and step into your purpose. Your journey starts now. Around you, people get anxious. The vitality that the selected one possesses is not overlooked. Some people experience this quite strongly. Their presence not only fills a room, but also changes the energy around them. For no apparent reason, they stutter, become restless, avoid eye contact, or exhibit discomfort. You observe that some people fidget with their hands, turn away, or attempt to cut the conversation short when you are speaking to them. This response is a result of what your presence causes in them rather than something you did. The selected one exudes clarity, firmness, and security. Not everyone is prepared to manage this strength, but they are aware of who they are and where they are headed. Besides someone who doesn't need to fit in to exist, some people feel insignificant. This discomfort results from the tremendous effect of your energy, which awakens the reality that others attempt to avoid. People who are accustomed to live in delusion, wearing masks, or changing who they are to fit in, are shocked to be around someone who is just genuine. For individuals who have not yet learned to cope with themselves, the contemplation that your presence evokes can be frightening. Your firmness and your posture make others examine their own insecurities without you having to utter a word. Frequently, these individuals are unable to articulate the cause of their anxiety. They simply sense that something about you is odd, which hinders their ability to behave naturally. In order to feel more at ease, some people will wish to keep their distance from you, while others may try to put you to the test by questioning your beliefs or looking for any flaw. But you shouldn't be worried about this. The chosen one is here to fulfill their purpose, not to put others at ease. Nobody will be able to walk with you, and not everyone will be able to put up with you. If you've observed that certain individuals respond in this manner around you, realize that this is a reflection of the effect your energy has and not an issue of your own. Even if it causes some initial difficulty, the world needs people who bring out the best in others, and you are one of those people. They want your approval. People will automatically believe the selected one's judgment because of their presence and enthusiasm. They don't need to force themselves to be heard. You observe that individuals around you approach you for answers at various points in your life. They ask for your counsel, want to hear what you think, and frequently want you to reassure them that they are headed in the right direction. This occurs as a result of your unusual intuition and mental clarity. You see things more broadly, but many people live in confusion, mired in uncertainties and fears. Your outlook on life exudes security, even when you don't know everything. Some people initiate casual chats, share problems, and secretly hope you will give them guidance without even realizing it. Some are blunter, asking what you would do if you were in their shoes, or even reversing their position after hearing your viewpoint. They see something in you that they don't see in other people. This frequently occurs as a result of your ability to see past appearances. Even when others attempt to disregard the truth, the chosen one sees it and uses it as a guide for those who have not yet discovered their own path. They do not allow themselves to be fooled by illusions or become sidetracked by diversions. This quest for your approval can be a blessing and a pain. It is satisfying to know that you have a great influence on other people, but it may also come with a lot of responsibility. The selected individual is not always able or willing to respond. Sometimes they need to take time to think, retreat, and tend to their own needs. But those around them don't always get this. Some people might even stop making their own decisions and start depending on your viewpoint. Setting limits is essential. Although your advice can be helpful, everyone must learn to trust themselves. The Chosen One is here to encourage others to discover their own strength, not to bear the burden of their choices. You can tell how much of an influence you have if you find that people are always coming to you for guidance, support, and affirmation. However, keep in mind that your goal is to inspire others to take their own path, not to be everyone's compass. You have a gift in your wisdom, but how you use it is what matters. Give your light, but don't let anyone else take it away from you. Fixation on your shortcomings. Not every person who follows your path wishes for you to be successful. Some people look forward to whatever mistake you make, while others are motivated by your journey. It's as though people finally have a reason to talk when you make a mistake. People watch, they analyze, and they pray something goes wrong. These individuals are more interested in your failure than in your progress. They don't want to learn from your accomplishments. They make fun of your shortcomings, exaggerate your errors, and frequently appear to enjoy watching you fail. Music. The Selected One evokes strong emotions. Your achievement draws attention to the stagnation of those who lack the guts to change. Your light disturbs. Your resolve causes discomfort. Some people would rather wait for you to fail than put forth the effort to change. And the evidence for this is straightforward. They stop talking when you succeed. These folks do not applaud your progress because their own stagnation is brought to light by the progress of a selected one. However, as soon as you make a mistake, people start to comment. There is a reason for this behavior. They believe they can defend their own shortcomings if even you, who possess a strong spirit and a clear goal, fail. In their mind, if even they stumbled, then maybe I don't need to try. Your error allows them to stay where they are. The selected individual must be ready for this. It's acceptable if not everyone will applaud you. Some people will attempt to downplay your accomplishments, cast doubt on your talents, and even undermine your progress. But this should not be an excuse for giving up. Your process includes every obstacle, error, and mishap. Failure is a learning experience, not the end. You get stronger while others look on and wait for you to fail. Even when they point out your errors, you learn from them and become even more ready for the future. These individuals are unaware that by concentrating on your shortcomings, they are actually recognizing your excellence. Those that don't matter aren't noticed. Those that don't matter don't make people react. They are paying attention to your movements because they are impacted by you in some way. The Chosen One's real struggle is to fulfill their goal without being swayed by unfounded opinions, not to win over everyone. People who genuinely care for you, who recognize your mission, encourage you to flourish, and stand by you when things go tough. The others are only onlookers who lack the bravery to embark on their own path. Just keep going, even if it seems like someone is waiting for you to fail. Even when others criticize your mistakes, you keep moving forward and get stronger, because the Chosen One is determined by their ability to get back up after failing, not by the opinions of others. Being selected entails following a route that not many people comprehend. You sense the looks, the pressure of expectations, and the impact of your presence on other people. Some people approach you along the way, looking for something in you, while others try to minimize you because they can't deal with your brightness. Loneliness may seem like a burden in the midst of all of this, but it is a necessary part of the process and not a punishment. Because not everyone can walk at the same pace. God distinguishes individuals who have a specific calling. While some individuals attempt to keep up without really knowing who you are, others lag behind. You feel that you need to keep your energy clean, that you can no longer have shallow conversations, and that you don't belong in some areas. This is a preparation, not an error. Because they require time to strengthen, the chosen one experiences periods of seclusion. These experiences mold their perseverance, their faith, and their minds. You sense that something else is going on, even if many people continue without doubt. This sense of uniqueness is an indication that you have been called to something more than the norm and is not a mirage. You should never question who you are because of the way the world may see you, try to imitate you, or even reject you. What makes you unique is what makes you strong. The chosen road is not meant for large crowds. Rather, it is for those who have the guts to follow it in the face of lack of recognition, comprehension, or assurance. Every obstacle you encounter is a component of your building. Nothing has been in vain, not even the questioning, the distance, or the locked doors. You became who you are today because of everything. You don't have to alter who you are in order to gain acceptance or to please others. The selected one leads. They don't fit in. Share this message with others who might be experiencing this stage as well, if it makes sense to you. You're not by yourself. Although many experience this, few know why. Additionally, you can subscribe to the channel if you would like to keep getting video that talks specifically about this adventure. Here, we discuss the feelings of the chosen, which not everyone can relate to. You are right where you should be, and your path has a purpose.